everyone, this is Shawn from Ozark Family Homestead. It's a cold, wet, rainy, miserable day out here in the Ozarks, so not really going to be able to get much done outside. So this is actually a pretty good opportunity to make a video. This video is different than most of the videos we do, and it is something that has been requested by numerous viewers, and it has to do with being prepared in the event of an emergency. So we already have a few videos related to that. We plan on putting more out because this is being requested. So this will be another one of those videos about what if. If something bad happens, what can you do in keeping yourself safe, your family safe? And in this video in particular, it's about the ability to get home or get to a safe location and have some basic things with you to keep yourself alive, keep yourself as comfortable as possible until you can get to a place that's going to be more secure for you and anyone that's with you. So today we're going to be talking about what some people refer to as a get home bag or a bug out bag or an emergency bag. And it's basically, and it's recommended usually to have a backpack because you can put it on your back and carry it that way. And it's just something that carries some basic supplies that you might need to get to where you need to go in the event of emergency. So let's talk about that. Let's say that your family is in different locations. You have different jobs, kids are going to school, different places that you may be during the day, and something bad happens. There's some sort of an emergency. And communications is gone. You can't talk to one another on your cell phone. Does everyone know what to do? Does everyone know where they're going to go, where they're going to meet? And that can be different places depending on who you are and your situation. For us, it's home. The safest place that we have is home. Our home is set up to deal with a variety of emergencies. If things were really bad, there's no place we would rather be than our homestead. But for others, that might not be the best place. You may live in an apartment, but you have parents or grandparents that live in the area that have a house, have land, or live in a place that you would consider to be more secure or where water's available or something. Maybe that's the place everyone would go. But everyone in your house needs to know if things are bad and we can't communicate with one another, where are we going to go? Who are we going to link up with? And again, that's going to change depending on your particular situation. So for us, we call these bags a get home bag because home would be our destination. Now, you might think, well, why wouldn't you just drive there? I'm talking about situations where you can't drive. There are all kinds of scenarios that are very possible where you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're however far away from home, where you work, go to school, and you may be 20, 30, 40 miles from home, and you've got to walk home. And that far away, you're probably going to have to walk, and you have to stay overnight. And what are the weather conditions going to be? Next time you're driving somewhere, especially a route that you take very frequently, I want you to notice how many times you cross bodies of water. And I don't mean giant bodies of water, just little creeks. Well, every time you go over like a little creek, a stream, small little river, there's a bridge. That's on the road. The road has to go over a bridge. If there was an earthquake, pretty significant earthquake, all those bridges are going to crumble. So you're not going to be able to drive home after any type of a significant earthquake because the first bridge you come to, that's the end of the road. And you're going to be on foot from that point forward. There's also, and don't want to get into all the details on this, but there is something called an EMP. And that's basically where there'll be a nuclear blast high up in the air. It will fry all the electronics. Or what if there's just a cyber attack that just shuts everything down, shuts the internet down? Do you know if the internet goes down, gas stations, you can't pump gas. They actually rely on internet. And same thing with the power grid. Power grid's gone. If the system goes down, power grid goes down, there's nobody to get gasoline, and your phones aren't going to work, and no one's going to know how to communicate with one another. And even if the roads are in okay shape, what if there's not enough fuel in your vehicle to get home, and the gas stations can't pump gas? You're on foot. Okay, so there's all kinds of situations where you might not be able to just simply drive home. You're going to be on your own. And again, you may have to spend the night somewhere, and you need to have some basic equipment with you to keep yourself alive. Okay, so I just want to show you this backpack. I like this backpack. It's got a lot of pockets on it. Military style, backpacking style backpacks work the best. The more pockets on them, the better. And you can see right here from the exterior is a water bottle. I'll get into that in just a bit on water. But real quick, just when you're carrying this is what, of course, goes on your front. And I'm just going to show you some of the things that we keep in our bags. This is the bag that I keep in my vehicle. Our other vehicles have bags as well. So I'd recommend a bag for every vehicle that your family's using. So like, for example, in this pocket here, I've got a knife. Now I always carry a knife on me, but there's an extra knife that's there in this pouch. This other pouch, I've got rope, 50 feet of rope. You'll see here in a little bit some of the reasons I might need rope with me. In this pouch here, I've got some hand warmers or toe warmers. You can put them in your shoes or put them in your pocket to warm up your feet or warm up your fingers. That's, of course, obviously important when it's cold outside. And then on this one, I've got a space blanket, okay, just help keep you warm. And I keep a flashlight. Now I keep a flashlight in the vehicle as well, but I keep one in here, so I've got a spare flashlight. I'm going to go ahead and open up some of the pockets in here and spread them out and kind of show you some of the things that's in this backpack. Okay, so I've opened up the front small pocket on the front of this backpack, and here's what I've got in there. I've got some food. I've got some salmon, some chicken salad. Got some little crackers in there with that chicken salad, and I've got some peanuts. This is just some basic food that could keep me going for a couple of days if I'm having to stay put somewhere or walk home. And I've also got some maps. This is just a map of Missouri. And there can be other maps that can be more local for your local county or the counties that you might be between you and where you work, go to school. So you know the back roads, you know the terrain, because if your phone's not available, paper maps may be what you need for alternate routes to get home. Okay, in the next pocket, I've got some first aid supplies. I've got some gauze, various types of gauze. I've got some gauze pads, some rolls I could wrap around an injury. I've got some waterproof matches. They're sealed up in plastic, so they're waterproof, plus the matches themselves are waterproof. I got another little first aid kit with some Band-Aids and alcohol wipes in it. I've got a trash bag. Main reason I have a trash bag, it's waterproof. If I need to tie up the entire backpack in the trash can real tight to make it waterproof, if I have to go through water and I don't want to get my backpack wet, I can seal it up in the trash bag. And this right here is something very important. It's called a life straw. A life straw is something that has a filter in it, and you can actually drink water directly out of a creek, out of a pond, out of anywhere there's some standing water, and it will filter the water and make it safe to drink. I also carry a water bottle. You can see on the side. You can keep it full of water, and then you can begin using this once you run out of water. And then when you come to a body of water, get yourself a really good drink, drink up with your life straw, and then you can fill your water bottle up with that creek water or whatever it is, and then, you know, use your life straw from there, again, to filter it so you don't get sick. There's also some various other like little tablets that you can carry that will that'll clean water, make it safer to drink. But that's what's in that next pouch. The second pouch behind that smaller pouch. Okay, so I've opened up the large compartment on this backpack. I'm going to go through some of the things that are in here. You can see there's a pair of gloves. I've got a little rag in there. I've got a large knife that I could use for cutting things if I needed to. And also a little multi-tool axe. You can see it's kind of a pry bar, hammer, and hatchet all together. If I need to cut down some small trees or something like that, you never know when you're out there trying to survive, especially if you're going through the woods or something like that. I'm going to go start with this. I got a pretty good size rope there. That's a 50-foot larger rope. I showed you I had a smaller rope as well. Got a folding shovel. I got some toilet paper to make life a little easier, and I got an extra pair of socks. Now, the socks, let me go ahead and mention this real quick. I always wear kind of a high-top hiking boot, military type, police type boot every day, okay? But some people, especially women, they may wear high heels or flip-flops. That would not be the best thing if you're trying to walk 20 or 30 miles, especially if you're trying to go through the middle of the woods. So if you wear footwear at work or at school that wouldn't be the best of trying to survive out in the woods or hiking, you know, miles and miles, take a pair of tennis shoes or hiking boots, have those in your go bag, and make sure you have a pair of socks with them. And I have extra socks in case my socks get wet. I have a ball cap, just in case I don't have a ball cap with me that day to wear. And I've got 2 tarps. And the reason I have 2 tarps is one tarp, I can take some rope, tie it between 2 trees, and make myself a little tent. And if it's wet, if it's cold, I don't want to be laying on wet ground. I want a second tarp to lay on top of, and it's long enough that I could wrap myself up in it like a cocoon and keep myself a little warmer if I had to. Okay, so just some basic things I have in here to keep myself dry, tools that I might need to cut wood, start a fire, and keep, again, gloves to protect my hands, and rope, shovel, just basic tools. Just think of camping. Think if you were out camping, kind of roughing it, the things that you might need with you if you're going to survive out in the woods for a few days. Another neat thing about this particular backpack, it has a little bladder in it that you can fill full of water, as well as a hose that you can sip out of while you're walking. So if you can get to a water source, you could fill that up if you know it's clean water. And you could fill this up. A lot of people who hike long distances have these bladders full of water in their backpack. The other thing, now this is something you might want to keep in there. I keep this on my belt. So this is actually the multi-tool that I carry on me every day on my belt. And it's just basically, it has all kinds of little tools, pliers, a file, Phillips head and regular screwdriver, a knife blade. You can cut wire with it. It's just nice to have that. It's just a handy thing to have with you. I don't have it in my go bag because I just carry it on my belt. It's already with me. But if you're not carrying something like that, a multi-tool would be a really great addition to your go bag as well. Some other things that you might want to have with you. One is medication. Are you on a medication that you absolutely have to take every day? Having some extra medication with you anytime you travel or you're away from home is a really good idea. The other thing is glasses. Now, I wear glasses, but I can survive without them. If something happened and I didn't have my glasses, I can see well enough to function pretty good. So I'm not in dire straits without my glasses, but some people are. Some people, if they don't have their glasses, they literally can't do anything. If that's your situation, I would highly recommend having an extra pair of glasses in your go bag or available to you, and then have them in a really hard case where they're not going to get crushed, they're not going to get broke. So that would be another thing. Just everyone's situation is different, so you need to think about if there's anything in particular that you need to have with you, just in case something happens again. And what would you need in a few days? Just think of what you use within a few days, or what you always need to make sure that you have available to you. And again, because everyone's needs are different, everyone's situation is different, so you'll need to customize your go bag or your get home bag for your particular needs. One more thing that you want to have with you in an emergency, and I saved it to the end because it's going to be controversial, and I'm going to talk a little bit in code here because one of the things I've learned is YouTube doesn't like you to talk about certain things. Things that we talked about earlier on when we first started making videos that we have found out that affects the algorithm negatively and gets a lot of people upset. But I'm going to go ahead and mention it here because I think it's important if you're in a situation as bad, situation as dangerous, and that's a means to protect yourself. I think it's going to be very important in a situation like this that you can keep yourself alive and protect yourself from predators. Whatever type of predator that might be, okay? And laws are different depending on where you live, and you know, the legalities of what you are allowed to keep in a vehicle or keep on you. Now, I'm in a situation where I actually have that type of thing on my body every day, okay? So I'm already carrying something like that, so it's not a matter of I need to put one in my bag. I already have one on my hip. Not everyone's in that situation, so you might not be to where you're actually carrying something that you protect yourself with on your body, but maybe you could keep something like that in your vehicle or in your bag. Keeping that in mind, it can't be something big gigantic because you don't want to carry something big gigantic. One thing for the weight, and also it's too visible. So it would be better if you would have a means of protection that is concealable, discreet. No one's going to necessarily realize that you have it. You know, only shown if you choose to show it. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So that would be something, and the things that go in them to make them function, having extra of those, because it's no good if it doesn't have something that you can feed it to make it work. So that would be something also to think about that I would want to have with me in a situation. I certainly wouldn't want to be out and with no means to protect myself, but everyone's situation is different depending on where you live and who you are. But I did want to mention that I think that's also a very important aspect of protection in a bad situation. And one more thing I do want to bring up before I end this video is clothing. Having proper attire. You know, a lot of times, especially in the fall and in the spring, the weather can change pretty drastically from the daytime to nighttime. So you might be out and about, going to work, going shopping, and you think, well, you know, it's 60 degrees. It's not that bad. I don't need a coat or anything with me. But it's getting 30 degrees or cooler at night. Well, what if something happens and you can't come home? You're not able to come home, and you're stuck somewhere. Have a coat with you. If it's getting cold at night, weather's unpredictable, have a coat available to you. You never know what type of situation you're going to be in, so it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it available. Hope you liked this video. I know it's a little bit different. Some people find this to be interesting. Other people find it to be upsetting. They don't want to talk about things like this. If you have ideas of the things that you think is a good idea to have with you in a go bag or in your vehicle, or if you want to share contents of a go bag that maybe things that I don't have in my go bag, and you think, hey Shawn, here's something else you might want to consider having with you, please put that in the comments. I want the viewers to have discussions about ideas that they have to keep themselves safe in the event of an emergency. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Give us a thumbs up. And until next time, we'll see you here on Ozark Family Homestead.
Thanks for